G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you enjoy today's stories. Now sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the Barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by a deleted account, titled, Am I the asshole for wearing a white dress on my birthday 2 weeks before brother-in-law and his fiancée are getting married? I don't know if I can include the dress, but Thursday was my 40th birthday. I usually don't celebrate birthdays. My husband just makes me dinner and gives me a present, and then my mum invites me for breakfast and gives me a present from the whole family. But when I turned 20 and 30, I had a bigger party, and now too. I invited my immediate family and my closest friends. The party was yesterday, and it was a great day. I'm so hungover now. I noticed that brother-in-law, my husband's brother, and his fiancée were a bit standoffish, but my soon-to-be sister-in-law is always standoffish with me, so nothing new. Today, my husband woke up to a long text message berating us because I wore a white dress. They're getting married in 2 weeks, and I should have known better. To be honest, I swear on my grandma's grave that I didn't think about any of this. My sister-in-law thinks that I always wear inappropriate clothes that draw attention to me, so now she's demanding to see what I will be wearing at her wedding. I asked if they're asking everyone, but no, just me. I said then I refuse. Now they say I'm an asshole for wearing white and for refusing to show them the dress I'm wearing to the wedding, threatening to disinvite my husband and I. My husband is conflicted. I don't know. I think I'd rather have my husband go alone than being treated like a child. Am I the asshole for wearing white to my party? These people are just insane in the membrane, OP. I don't understand what correlation you wearing white to your own birthday party has with their wedding that's in 2 weeks. But whatever premium Colombian powder they're snorting to get to this level of delusion, I'd like a bump, because damn, that must be nice. In the comments, Thunderpants3 says, Not the asshole, she's effing deluded. Seriously, I would ask why she's making your birthday about her. It has absolutely nothing to do with her wedding. I will say if you skip the wedding, it would only escalate the situation. She's clearly deranged. If she chooses to uninvite you, however, problem solved. This is it. I scrolled down too long to find this comment. Your day, wear whatever you want. On her wedding day? Sure, don't wear white, but on my birthday, you're going to tell me what's appropriate? Who does she think she is? This is obviously a jealousy thing, or it seems like it. Maybe the brother made a comment or looked at her in a way that made fiancé uncomfortable. That's not OP's problem. Personally, I wouldn't attend the wedding. Apparently, getting married in 2 weeks means that she owns the color white for as long as she wants. Ridiculous. Not the asshole. Ugh, everyone knows you can't wear white for 3 months leading up to any wedding, you monster. Not the asshole. I thought the rule is that nobody's allowed to wear white ever because someone somewhere is getting married and we wouldn't want to upstage them. Good grief, these bridezillas are so ridiculous. Too childish to be married, honestly. When you worry that much about a dress, I can't imagine there's much space to attend to the, marriage? Even if you were wearing a wedding dress to your own birthday party, you would never be the asshole. Why would your birthday party even be about your brother-in-law and sister-in-law? You were definitely not the asshole. I think some screws fell loose in those petty brains of your brother-in-law and sister-in-law to even care about this. This was my take. How dare she be the center of attention, checks notes, on her own birthday? Update. Okay, so I was very surprised about the amount of support I got. Thank you, because I was starting to doubt myself. I just want to make it clear that the only one I care about right now is my husband and his feelings, because somehow I felt that he's in the middle of the crossfire right now. So I talked to him and apologized for my pettiness. He was surprised and said that I had nothing to apologize for, requesting to only approve of my dress out of the 270 guests is insulting and disrespectful. You don't do that to family. So I told him that maybe I shouldn't go to the wedding after all. Sister-in-law never liked me anyway, and I'm sure I'm only invited because she can't not. She would be happy if I didn't attend. The whole thing felt like she was finding an excuse to disinvite me anyway. My husband then can go and be there for his brother, and everyone wins. My husband called my brother-in-law to tell him that I couldn't come and he will be attending by himself. Brother-in-law said, "Okay, cool. Problem solved, right?" No. Future sister-in-law texted me saying that I needed to show her the dress, and refusing to show her means that she is right and I have chosen something inappropriate and trashy. I texted back, "Oh, I thought you've spoken to your fiancé. I won't be attending." She texted back an hour later, "Yes, I have spoken to my fiancé. If you remember from yesterday, none of you are welcome if you don't show me the dress. So if you still refuse, neither you nor your husband can attend." I talked to my husband now, and he literally had no words. He said to stop texting future sister-in-law and that he will fix this. So I'm staying the hell out of this. Edit. There's a lot of confusion here about how we're related. Me, 40 female, my husband, 40 male, my brother-in-law, my husband's older brother, 46 male, my future sister-in-law, my husband's older brother's fiancé, 28 female. 18-year age difference. Very interesting. In the comments, Aruk says, "So, he's gonna call bro and let him know that she's uninvited him? I bet that works out well for her. No one should be attending this wedding, not even the brother-in-law. Especially brother-in-law. You should send her a picture of your dress worn by your husband. She's crazy, but also brother-in-law should date women his age." OP replies, "Lol, brother-in-law is another gem. He cheated on his ex because she had several miscarriages, and when he got caught, he said it was because he was depressed for not having a family. They divorced. This was 3 years ago. Now his ex is pregnant with her new man, who is actually future sister-in-law's ex-boyfriend, and brother-in-law is devastated she moved on faster than him, so I think this whole marriage is to one-up his ex, to be honest, because she's not married yet. That is so messy! What? I can't deal with that. What the f is going on? Of course, though, this is all speculation and gossip. I thought maybe you would appreciate some backstory and gossip. Cheating on someone suffering multiple miscarriages? This asshole is the devil. Hopefully an STI that he gave her didn't cause the miscarriages. Just skip the wedding. Tell them both you'll make it to the next one. Dogs don't change their spots. So, how did everyone involved meet? Just curious about that drama story. Brother-in-law and his ex-wife were neighbors with future sister-in-law and her then boyfriend. The boyfriend suspected his girlfriend was cheating, and he found out who he was. He contacted ex-wife. Apparently they're dating now and expecting. Brother-in-law and future sister-in-law are getting married now. I met my husband at my first job 15 years ago, been married for 6 years. And was her boyfriend also older? Or was the ex-wife also younger? Are they still neighbors? Like, they just swapped houses? You and your husband sound like lovely people. Congratulations to him on not being trashy like his brother. Ex-wife is younger than me, maybe 36 to 37. Unfortunately, she doesn't speak to me at all because she didn't want anything to do with the whole family. Ex-boyfriend is probably 30 to 35, I don't know. And no, when they got divorced, brother-in-law couldn't afford buying ex-wife out of the house, let alone living in it with only one income, so he bought a 1-bedroom. Future sister-in-law moved in with her parents for a while until she moved in with brother-in-law. Ex-wife also got her own place, but now she moved in with her baby daddy in a house that they bought together. Update. My husband didn't attend his brother's wedding, and sister-in-law is now telling everyone that I have ruined her day. Okay, so yesterday was the wedding. My sister-in-law was still adamant that I show her the dress if either my husband or I would like to attend, even though I told her that I wasn't going. Brother-in-law told my husband that he was being an ass not giving his wife, a bride, what she wanted, which was a simple request. No matter how silly you think she is being, you should have been the bigger person and not engaged in this petty business, is what my brother-in-law told my husband. My husband said that he didn't want to go to the wedding either. My sister-in-law still texted and demanded I send her the pictures, even though we're officially uninvited now. She called me an attention huawahua, an attention person who enjoys sex, a derogatory term, a term that's derogatory. My other sister-in-law, that is the sister of my husband and brother-in-law, heard all of this. She went through with her plan even if I begged her to just ignore it. My husband told me to stay out of it since it's none of our business anymore. But she went through with her plans. She told the other women who were invited what happened and to dress in short dresses and even showed up in white. I think it was so easy to pull off because none of my husband's family like the sister-in-law or brother-in-law for that matter. Sister-in-law spent the wedding angry and crying and at times refused to leave the restroom, demanding her husband to kick out his sisters, amongst others. The sister and a few others left before dinner was served. Brother-in-law and sister-in-law got toasters from at least 50 of the couples they invited. I have also found out that at my birthday, my husband surprised me with a designer bag and a trip to Milano that we are taking at the end of this month. Sister-in-law thought that it was a direct insult to her because she loves Italy, and her husband refused to plan a honeymoon since the wedding would cost him a fortune and he couldn't afford a honeymoon too. So she thought that I stole her honeymoon. Mother-in-law called me demanding that I should fix what I ruined by giving my birthday gifts to sister-in-law. Mother-in-law offered to pay for name change on the reservations. My husband was livid hearing that because he's been planning this out for months. Now sister-in-law is saying I have ruined her wedding by being in cahoots with my other sister-in-law and the rest of her family. I intentionally had a big party to ruin her wedding party. I wore white so I would look like the main character in the pictures, and I stole her honeymoon dream. I wasn't. I even begged other sister-in-law to forget this whole thing and to not make more drama on sister-in-law's wedding, but here we are. I have blocked sister-in-law and brother-in-law because I don't want any more problems. In the comments, Veronica Dasani says, "Whatever you do, keep Revenge Barbie's sister-in-law on your side in life. Sis does not play. White and short dresses and 50 toasters? I am dying over here laughing." OP says, "I will never mess with other sister-in-law. Her message was loud and clear. It could be because my husband is her favorite brother, because he loves her and always had her back. I love your husband's sister. Look, you're not the asshole. Ignore your brother and sister-in-law. Tell your mother-in-law to cool it, or you will stop communicating with her too. You didn't mess up the wedding, the bride did with her insane demands. I think mother-in-law is just grateful that someone agreed to marry her son and she wants him to keep her around. But that's not your problem, it's hers. And for people to give all 50 toasters means no one liked the couple." Sounds like the other, Revenge Barbie's sister-in-law, just took this as an opportunity to get back at her for what I'm sure is other crazy stuff she has done and said because they don't like sister-in-law or brother-in-law. And for that, I really do admire her, lol. You're a great person for trying to convince her not to. And go you for enjoying your birthday and your dress. I hope you enjoy that trip and gift and post all the pictures for them to see. Not the asshole. This woman is so entitled. Your mother-in-law demanded you give over a trip? What even is that? These women need a reality check. Why would you show her a dress when you're not going to the wedding? Crazy person. Sister-in-law is entitled cray-cray moron, and mother-in-law plus brother-in-law have no one to blame but themselves and sister-in-law for causing a family feud / getting cut off from all contact from various family members, such as OP, for indulging the stupidity of such an insane projecting simpleton. You know what? These two people deserve each other, especially after the backstory of brother-in-law. I immediately lost all faith in these people. I think we've just found 2 more committee members to add to the Council of Arseholes because they definitely deserve their spot, election or not, that's for sure. How are you just going to keep hounding OP even after they've tapped out of the wedding and the husband's tapped out of the wedding? You're like, "No, I'm dying on this hill. Where is the dress? Where is she?" But yeah, I hope they have the life they deserve, that's for sure. Our next post is by another deleted user, titled, "Am I the asshole for shouting at my sister while she's on her deathbed?" My 26 female sister, Nancy, 39 female, and I have had a strained relationship for as long as I can remember. For a bit of background, Nancy's parents were my late aunt and uncle, who passed away in a car accident when she was 6, and my parents adopted her. Growing up, I realized that she got more love and care than I did, but I just wrote it off because I didn't want to blame her for her trauma or how she handles triggers. When I was a teen, I got tired of her always needing to trump my accomplishments or be the center of attention. I finished high school when I was 16, and after I received my matric results, my parents planned a big party for me, but the week before, Nancy fell down a flight of stairs and my party had to be cancelled. As I was sitting in the waiting room with my parents, I had an epiphany and realized that a lot of her accidents coincidentally happened when something big was planned for me. For example, a month before my 21st birthday, which was going to be spent on a cruise, she started having dizzy spells, and a few days before, she fell off the roof as she was trying to patch a few leaks. Rightfully, I was upset, and my parents lashed out at me for being selfish when my sister got injured trying to do something to help them. When I graduated with my MBA at 22, she fell very sick after eating shellfish, which everyone knows she is deathly allergic to. The day after my partner proposed, she got into an accident while driving on a sunny day with great road conditions, saying she didn't see a light pole or something. He threw me a surprise engagement party, and guess who accidentally ate prawns and was rushed to the hospital halfway through the party? Big up prawns, that's all I can say. To avoid any drama at my wedding, my partner and I decided to elope with a few friends, and it was the first time something was all about me for once. My parents were bitter about not being part of the wedding celebrations, so we planned a reception type thing for friends and family on our second anniversary. My dad will walk me down the aisle, and my mum will do the something old thing, etc. They had been buzzing with excitement and looking forward to the wedding. The event is this coming weekend, and guests have already started flying in as they want to celebrate the whole week and treat it as a reunion of sorts. But, like every other big moment of my life, I am writing this post sitting in the hospital waiting room because Nancy apparently had a big psychotic break because her boyfriend dumped her in February. So there's a psychiatrist admitting her for 21 days as he believes she's a danger to herself. My parents are trying to talk me into postponing because it would be heartless of me to celebrate while my sister is cuffed to a bed for the next 3 weeks. I had a meltdown of my own and told my sister that if she wanted to go to heaven that desperately, could she not have done it when we were younger so I could be spared from all her drama? And now there's a handful of family members who are calling me a cruel bridezilla for taking my stress out of my sister when she's so unwell. I told all of them that I would be proceeding with the wedding as a lot of time and money had already gone into it, and they're welcome to mope around the hospital to support my sister. They told me that I was unfair for making them have to choose between a party and my sister, who is on her deathbed. Edit to add, I know she isn't in her deathbed. Any sane person reading this post knows that she is not on her deathbed. But to my family, this is a life or death situation because only God knows what they'll do to her in there. And they're especially incensed by the very limited visitation because they're convinced the psychiatrist is doing it so she can get pumped full of medication and so the hospital can make some money, yada yada yada. He's out of line, but he's not wrong. Honestly, it's messed up, but I applaud you for telling her that if she wanted to die this bad, she should have done it earlier. Because at this point, she's cried wolf so many times, you might as well just slap her with some reality. It's so glaringly obvious that your parents aren't on your side in this, because they're so deep in denial. They're still believing the antics. They're still going along with the tricks. They're still attacking you for not going along with it. What is it going to take to break this cycle? This is a disgusting positive feedback loop that is not ending anytime soon. And it's to the point that if you don't go along with it, you're always a freak asshole, can do no right because you don't care about your sister who is considerably older than you, her mental health. Talk about a family that does not want to rock the boat. They will drown you before they even so much as touch the side of this boat. Anyway, I'm giving it a not the asshole judgment, that's for sure. In the comments, Neo Geshel says, well, for one, she's not on her deathbed. That's a bizarre thing to call it. OP says, any sane person would know that, but not my parents and extended family. Any trip to the hospital is called a near-death experience for her because she experienced so much trauma when she was young, and she's fragile, and anything can happen while she's admitted. Yeah, then why hasn't it already? If it was gonna happen, it would have happened already. She's how old? She's fragile because they've wrapped her up in cotton wool and babied her like a glass princess instead of treating her like a normal person. They've denied her the chance to be a decent person and instead trained her to be a selfish, attention-seeking brat by rewarding her with floods of attention every time she has a boo-boo. They've ruined her. Hindsight is 2020, but I wish you would have called it right before any of these events. When I graduate, she will have some emergency. When we have our wedding, she will try to grab the attention somehow. They can't think this is all a coincidence. Plus, this is the reason you eloped in the first place. I don't know how they don't see it. I had a friend like OP's sis, and I was trying to convince a mutual friend that her medical issues seemed to often collide with big events. She claimed a broken rib by coughing the night before her brother's birthday. I told my mutual friend she was full of it, and by next week, the rib convo will disappear. She said that was a crazy thing to make up, and we'll see. And we did see. Sure enough, not even a full week later, she was over the broken rib thing. That really changed mutual friend's view of her. So yeah, calling it is the way to go 100%. I think you definitely should speak to her doctors about her history of accidents that happen at the same time of big events and successes in your life. Maybe hearing it from the doctors will get your family's attention. OP says, I've already spoken to the psychiatrist assigned to her, hence the very long psychiatric hold. That's just another thing that pissed my family off because they felt that I did that to be spiteful, even after I pulled out every receipt and date I could think of, spanning the past 15 years. Parents be like, oh, you're just making stories up. You're just making that off the top of your head. Pulls out 15 years of receipts. Look at you keeping notes and keeping tabs. You know how manipulative that is? God, you're an asshole. Maybe you're the problem, mate. Not the asshole. You spoke the truth, and that is not spiteful. If she's on a psychological hold, then visiting hours are probably limited. Your family can skip a visit for one day, or arrange for her friends to be there that day, and attend your wedding, which you have put too many deposits down to cancel. Maybe I'm wrong, but do they really want people to visit her every single day? That doesn't feel right for that kind of hospital stay. Go ahead with your wedding though. The big blessing is that she can't make a scene there. Although maybe tell her doctors the day of the wedding and try to keep an extra close eye in case she tries to hurt herself and have her family rush to her side. Or tell the sister that the wedding is postponed. You can tell your parents that if she thinks it is, she can focus on healing. You can't cancel because so many people already made plans, but best not to tell her that now. Updates. First, my sister tried to discharge herself by signing a refusal of hospital treatment, which wasn't successful, and she apparently had a whole meltdown and hurt one of the staff members, so she had to be sedated and restrained. After I heard about this, I decided to call her psychiatrist up again and told him that this is the part of her MO. She'll get hurt, and once she's gotten enough attention or something of mine has been cancelled, she'll then get herself discharged because she's miraculously feeling better. And I think that is what she was banking on now, but what she didn't consider is that psychiatric hospitals operate very differently from regular hospitals. I also think she realized that for the first time, her plan wasn't working and I'd still be celebrating something, and tried getting out so she could physically disrupt the ceremony. But, oh well. The day after I made the post, I took the suggestion quite a few people made and created a whole spreadsheet of the incidents. I went through the discharge papers my parents still had at their house and went through a deep dive of my iCloud to find old pictures and stuff of special moments in my life and then compared all the dates. Lo and behold, there were 11 special moments and 10 discharge papers, all with eerily close dates, from a few years before my 16th birthday to now. I showed this list to my parents, and nothing. They decided to stick to their guns, telling me that my sister has always been clumsy and the stress of big events would obviously make her more prone to getting hurt. I then asked them why she never had any accidents before or after her own milestones, like her graduation or her engagement party, and I didn't get an answer. I felt my heart break into a million pieces and decided to just cut my losses because I really was talking to walls. I then told them that I was okay with them not attending the wedding ceremony they had guilted me into having, and that I had enough people who truly loved me there to support me. I also told the other flying monkeys in the family that they had my permission to stay away and go sit in the hospital, waiting on someone who currently isn't allowed to have any visitors. I then switched my phone off so that I could focus on getting ready for Saturday, and all communication had to go through my partner, who was filtering out everything before it reached me. The ceremony started off great, and I actually don't regret doing it, even though I didn't want it in the first place. It felt so darn good to see relatives and friends that I hadn't seen in a while. Halfway through, my parents arrived, and my dad started talking to other relatives about how disappointing it was that he didn't get to walk me down the aisle a second time, and how he didn't raise me to be so selfish by celebrating things while my own sister is probably chained to a bed with no one there to support her. My relatives then talked him into leaving, and I didn't hear about his tantrum until the morning, which I'm very grateful for. My relatives also had to deal with a friend of my sister's turning up to the reception in a white dress, but the joke was on her because I was in a modern traditional bar sotho dress, and I still fully stood out as the bride. Right now, I just feel numb and defeated, and it feels like I've lost my family, even though they were never really family. It hurts to be in this situation, and a part of me is mourning what could have been, or what I deserved but never got. A lot of people told me that going no contact is never easy, and I think it's finally starting to sink in. But a lot of people also told me to focus on the good. I have a lot of good things going for me now, and I should be in the moment. This might not be the dramatic update the people were expecting, but that's all there is for now. And thank you, OP. Thank you for having a titanium spine and standing up to these, I'ma call them abusers. They are abusing you, they are neglecting you emotionally, and I guess for the love that they should be giving you, they are neglecting to do that. So thank you for updating us and for being the strong person that you deserve to be and should be. I wish that we could all give you the love that you deserve to be feeling after this insane and I'd imagine a degrading experience you've been through. My heart goes out to you, OP, and I wish you all the best going forward from here. In the comments, Tail8Raven says, "This is a great update and the beginning of you living a much healthier life with better people around you who truly love you. I know it doesn't feel that way, it's ugly, but you'll see it soon enough. Congratulations. I'm glad you enjoyed your day. You deserved it to go well. The family dynamics are ingrained. Go no contact/low contact and leave them to get on with it. Maybe time and circumstances will change things, but maybe not. Just enjoy the good relationships you have and enjoy each day. It will all get easier." Edit to add, they didn't bring you up to be unselfish, they brought you up to be an emotional punching bag and a doormat. Once you're out of the equation, sit back and watch the fireworks. I agree with everything above, except I don't think the family will change. They have been enabling the sister for decades and allowed OP to be the scapegoat. If they change, it will be faked. OP, keep them out and don't let them in if you ever have kids. Congratulations on your wedding, and here's to the new life and family who you chose and love. I agree. The parents seem to think the sister's illness or accidents are legitimate and probably don't even want to consider they might be manipulative fake events. OP seems to have other supportive people in her life, as evidenced by the people who are attending her wedding. I relate way too hard to this post. That kind of numb, exhausted pain you feel after your parents yet again take the golden child's side despite all the evidence. It's indescribable. You knew it was coming, but a tiny part of you still hoped this would finally change things, even if you know logically it won't. And, big surprise, it doesn't, and it frickin' hurts anyway. OP's parents have screwed up both their daughters with this garbage behavior. OP will never be good enough for them, and all her accomplishments were never hers to have, while Nancy is so deeply unhappy with her life that she has to sabotage every happy moment in OP's life in self-destructive ways that just amount to wastes of time. She can't be content with herself unless she can drag her sister down to her miserable level. If she can't do it to OP anymore, she'll do it to other people too. I hope OP has since found peace, but this kind of shit never leaves you, no matter how far away you are. That line of, if she can't do it to OP anymore, she'll do it to other people too? When I cut out family who did this, they started targeting others. I realized I really was their stress ball human, and without me, other people found them insufferable. The fact that the sister will purposefully harm herself in ways that could literally kill her in order to prevent OP from getting the slightest bit of attention indicates something is seriously wrong with her mentally, and as long as her parents enable that behavior, nothing will change. She got what was coming to her, but I actually kind of hope sister gets genuine psychiatric help because something is very, very wrong with her. Yeah, that's frightening. To purposely eat food that you're deathly allergic to, throw yourself off a roof and down some stairs, and crash your car just to make sure someone doesn't get one iota of attention they deserve for working their ass off? Effing mental. I had a work client break her own leg deliberately to steal someone else's thunder, and it was absolutely chilling behavior to see. What's the story? How did she do it? Why and when? Was there any comeuppance? Threw herself down the stairs. Another client had an accidental injury, I think it was a broken wrist, a week or so prior, and I believe she was jealous of or mad at the extra attention the other client was receiving, as she had a history of extremely self-involved behavior, even to the point of actually doing herself harm as long as she could get her way, and bullying towards this other client. It's not like there could really be consequences for her breaking her own leg. I mean, her leg is broken, I think she got her own consequences. But after I left that job, I did hear that she had been removed from that organization due to further incidents, violence, and safety concerns. So it wasn't a good or safe fit for her to be in that community with other vulnerable people needing care or support. It's tough. She had a lot of issues and some very dark history of abuse that she had been a victim of, and which obviously fed into her issues as an adult, and she could not live independently, but was very ill-suited to a standard community care model. It's very hard when individuals don't really fit anywhere. I saw it in some older clients who had experienced institutional care before that method of dealing with mental illness and disability changed. Some parts of them never truly left. I had another client who ultimately returned to locked ward care, and as much as I might have felt like it was a step backwards in her autonomy and independence, it wasn't really clear if it was her choice or her family's. There were parts of her behaviors and personality that had been permanently formed by her prior institutional experience. When care models change as rapidly as they have in the past 50 years or so, there can be an entire generation that's got this deep dichotomy of experiences between times when they were locked up and heavily sedated, or restrained and possibly horrifically abused, and times that they lived in a more home-based care model with way more support for their independence and choices, and much closer scrutiny and regulation of safety restraint practices. Oh my god, bro has never heard of a comma or a full stop, I swear to god. Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed the stories. There are no bloopers on this one. I did not find anything funny. I am a soulless individual. When I find things funny in the future and have bloopers, they will be at the end of the video here. Bye!